Happy VA Wednesday. Today we're going to be talking about something that's not very happy, but I've seen a lot of it in the last 2 weeks, so I wanted to bring it to your guys' attention. So I have been seeing a lot of lender bullying. What is lender bullying? Lender bullying is when the lender is incredibly aggressive towards the client and offensive in an attempt to keep the client's business. So I'm going to give you guys 3 examples of the behavior I've seen. If you guys are experiencing any situation like this, I strongly advise you to get a second opinion. Also, think about it this way, okay? Lenders who are bullying you to try to keep your business is the same type of person who lives by the treat them mean to keep them keen. Have you guys heard that before, right? It's like on every pickup show. It's like, if you see a pretty girl, tell her she's an ugly dog, then you'll get her love. That stuff never works. It never works. And same thing with business. It shouldn't work. Someone shouldn't make you feel lesser than so that you try to please them by staying with them. And that's what we're seeing. So do not be the person that gets abused. Here we go. Okay. And in all 3 instances, the clients were freed from these abusive monsters, but I know that since these lenders are behaving like this, they behave like this because it's working. So you guys don't want to be someone it's working on. Okay. Client number 1. Client number 1 has been working with this lender for a couple weeks, totally approved. They're out shopping and they say to the lender, like, hey, like, we'd really like to know, like, where you are with rates. Like, we're starting to shop. We want to know where rates are. And they had to ask multiple times. And finally, the lender says a rate and they go, oh, wow, that's high, because it was about 1% higher than the market. And the lender goes, well, if you can't afford that, you shouldn't own a home. Wow, like, no, but alrighty. And the client's like, whoa. And he goes, what's the interest rate on your car? No, tell me, what's your car interest rate payment? And he's like, well, I don't know what the interest rate on my car is. He's like, exactly. Okay, so here's the thing, guys. If a lender has a higher rate, if you don't want to pay that, it doesn't mean you shouldn't own a home. It just means you should shop. Okay, the next thing, sorry, I have allergies again. The next thing is if someone's trying to divert you. So we talk about the diversion technique a lot in sales because this is something I've heard in the mortgage industry for a long time. And every time I hear it, I just go, oh, okay. Never talk about the rate, only talk about the payment. That's like an old school mortgage sales technique, is if you're dealing with a lender where they won't talk about the rate and they say, this is what your payment will be, let's just focus on the payment, that's because they know their rate is out of the market. It's an old school sales technique. I've never done it. I think it's gross. You know, I'm always trying to be as aggressive as I can in the market. Do I win every time? No, but I win a lot and I work real hard to make sure that I'm aggressive on pricing. So if they're just trying to keep you to paying attention with the payment, because they say that, they say, you're not going to remember the rate, you're going to remember the payment. Okay, it's a real easy way to have a rate that's an eighth, a quarter, 0.5% higher, because that could be 20, 50, higher loan amounts, it's going to be more, but that is another technique to watch out for. And that's why the guy went to the car payment, is because he was trying to divert them with, you don't think about that interest rate, you just think about the payment, so why aren't you just thinking about the payment on this? Okay, so that was example number 1. Example number 2, this lady's doing a purchase. She talked to multiple lenders, we're one of them. It's a very long purchase. So she's had months to talk to multiple lenders. And during that process, we've underwritten her, we've locked her, we're ready to go. We just need that house to be done. And she had talked to another lender as well. And she had actually told that lender, hey, I don't want to move forward with you anymore. And that lender kept on contacting her, okay? To the point where she had to put in writing, please cancel my file. As stated in prior emails, I do not want to work with you, okay? That lender then just blows up her text phone, right? She sends me all the screenshots and I'm looking at them and I'm just like, oh my God, the guilt trips. The guilt trips that I'm seeing on this thing are wild. It's like, you know, we had a relationship. I'm like, did you have a relationship? She's like, no, Jennifer, I filled out the application and talked to him twice. I worked on your file for hours. Did he underwrite you? No, he didn't underwrite me. He said his wife was the underwriter. She's not, she's his assistant. I'm like, oh man. Yeah, so hours on your file, we had a relationship, you know, Don't you want to support your local economy? Okay, the guy works at a major corporation just like I do. Like, Guaranteed Rate is one of the largest mortgage companies in the country. We support lots of local economies because we have offices all over the country. So to say like, by going with someone with a better rate, she's robbing her local economy because he's in the same zip code, even though he works for a mega corporation too. Like, I mean, I was waiting for him to say that she was ruining Girl Scouts' lives. It was the guilt trip of all guilt trips. And then when she responded to that, I'm like, look, lenders aren't supposed to text you if you've asked them to stop communicating with them. That's true, guys. So if any lender's ever texting you and you don't want to talk to them ever again, even if it's me, just be like, please do not contact me further. We will not contact you, okay? It's actually kind of funny. I had a guy in an email, this was years ago. I don't remember what he was mad about, but he said, please do not contact me further. So I told the entire team, do not contact him. Don't contact him. A week later, why haven't you guys reached out? I need to know these things. And we're like, you told us not to contact you. So you guys need to know, like, if you tell us not to contact you and we don't contact you, that's on you. But lenders are not supposed to contact you if you tell them not to. So anyways, she texts back and she says, you know, please do not contact me further. That should have been it. Woo! Okay, then he went mad. So he'd gone guilt and then he went mad. And she's like, it ended up with her literally calling 3 people on my team, being panicked and afraid, being like, I'm scared he's gonna show up at my house. And I was like, well, thank God your husband's a Marine. And look, he's not gonna show up at their house, but that's another technique they'll use. They'll use, you know, intimidation, they'll use guilt, and it's all because, you know, and here's the thing, as lenders, we can kind of see how much production other lenders are doing. And in this case, you know, they're getting so aggressive because that's what's going to pay their mortgage for the month. And look, should we all care about other people? Yeah, I really do think we should. But at the same point, I think that in this position, you guys need to do what's best for yourself and your family, okay? And if you're more comfortable with another lender and they're offering you a better deal, that's who you should be with. You know, we tell people all the time, like, if someone brings a loan estimate to me and it's a really good loan estimate and I look at the lender and the lender's legitimate and they like them, I'm like, you should 100% go with them. Like, please go with them. They'll take good care of you. Like, they did a good job. My mission with VA, since the day I really started doing these videos, is to make it so you guys are really good rate shoppers and to make it so that lenders give you the respect you deserve. So I'm sticking with that mission. And if you guys are working with other lenders and they're good lenders and they can perform, I will always encourage you. If they're not, I will tell you they're not. And I will say, ha 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 ha, there's no way they're gonna close that on time. Best of luck, right? I'll say it nicer than that, but you know, ultimately I want what's best for you guys. So anyway, so he went mean. So that was a crazy one. Here's another one. This one's wild. Okay. Let me get my hair ready for this. I guess that's the thing now. So this lender is literally the worst ever. So somehow he gets this client. I don't know if he met on Facebook or what the deal was. And the lender starts doing the deal. It's a purchase. The guy's like purchasing the house from his uncle or something. He starts doing it in December. We get the call in May. The call in May is, hey, I've been working with the lender since December. He still hasn't closed it. Like, I think the rate's high. I think something's wrong. So my team starts looking into it and they're like, oh yeah, the rate's high. You know, and this is easy. We can close this, no problem. We don't understand why it's taking this guy so long. Like, we're like trying to figure out what's wrong with the client. We're like, what do we not know? What are you not telling us? Because there's no reason it should take this long. So we like tear the file apart. We talk to the client. He talks to us. Like, we get really like, we're being honest. We're like, dude, like, this is so weird. Like, what do we not know? Okay, so Maria on my team, if you guys have heard me talk about her before, we call her the detective. So the detective starts looking into the other lender. Guys, the other lender wasn't even licensed in the state this guy was buying a house until like 2 weeks before he called us. Yeah, so he said he'd been working on the loan since December. Homeboy wasn't even licensed in that state until end of April. End of April. So the client, here's where it gets so messed up. Think about what rates were in December versus April. Okay, you guys aren't lenders, so that doesn't mean anything to you. 2.875, 3% versus 4+. Okay, Yeah, that's the difference. He didn't say to the client, I'm not licensed there. He said, oh yeah, bro, I'm working on it. Yeah, you've got lots of issues. I'm handling it. So that guy gave us the text messages from his lender, and we were appalled. First of all, he's like, bro, I've been working so hard on your file, and you're gonna leave me high and dry now? And he's like, bro, you don't know, like your file's hard. That's why it took so long. Yeah, no, the file took that long because it wasn't legal for this guy to be even touching it or doing it. That's the thing. Lenders have to be licensed in the state that you guys are buying in. You got to be real careful of that, because as we enter, the Hunger Game territory, you're going to see more lenders doing shady every day, okay? So those text messages were like guilt trip, you know, and I was like, is this guy your best friend? Because he's broing you a lot. Like, I've never seen so many bros like in a professional text message in my life. And he's like, no, I just met him through, I think it was Facebook. I met it through Facebook. Okay. So here's the deal. What is the point of this video? Great question. I ask myself that every time I film something. The point's this. It's the Hunger Games of lending. It's gonna get ugly. People are gonna get ugly. You know, you guys need to do what's best for you and your family. You need to watch out, because there are gonna be a lot of bait and switches. I'm gonna do a video on that later, because I'm already starting to see that. But you need to watch out for people who are bullying you to take higher than what you can actually get, okay? Now, if, for example, a lender is quoting you for a 4 unit and another lender is quoting you for a 2 unit and won't do a 4 unit, are those rates comparable? No, they're not. But if you're comparing apples to apples and you have 2 qualified lenders with good reputations and one is a lot better, you should go with that lender. And if this lender gives you a lot of strife about it, just walk away, okay? Please do not contact me any further, okay? Thanks for watching, guys. If you have any questions or comments, as always, feel free to reach out. We love talking to you guys.